What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of AusHoopers TV. Today we're going to be breaking down one of the bigger things that's happened around the Australian basketball community recently, and that's the departure of Roman Siulepa, who was an NBL Next star that was assigned to the Tasmanian JackJumpers. He has been released, and it's a bit controversial. It's got a lot of people talking, so I'm going to break it down today and give you my thoughts. Now, if you don't know who Roman Siulepa is and you follow our page or you follow Australian basketball, you may just be living under a rock because this kid is one of the biggest names in junior basketball Australia. To give you guys an overall rundown on who Roman Siulepa is, I'm going to kind of name his accolades and just give you a quick rundown, and then I'm going to kind of get into what happened and how it happened and what people are saying in the blogs and in the media. The first accolade I'll talk about is Roman Siulepa winning the MVP at the recent Under-20s Nationals tournament, the Australian Junior Championships. And for those who don't know what that is, it's the biggest competition in Australia that happens once a year, and each state puts their 10 best players forward. Roman Siulepa and the Queensland Boys, came runners up. They lost to Victoria. Austin Rapp hit a buzzer beater, but Roman Siulepa came away with the silver medal, and he won MVP at the tournament. Roman Siulepa averaged 24 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists at this competition as a bottom-age player. There's 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds that are just coming out of the Under-18s competition, so Roman doing this at a bottom age is much more impressive. Tagging along some of the Queensland stuff, Roman was also named the 2023 Basketball Male Player of the Year in Queensland, which is a crazy accomplishment for someone at that age. As you can see, Roman teamed up in the green and yellow with the likes of Luke Fennell, Jacob Furphy, Rocco Zikarsky, some of the bigger names on this team, but it's a very stacked side, and they took out the Albert, forgive me if I say this wrong, Schweitzer tournament in Switzerland, which is another gold medal in the Australian uniform. He averaged 18 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals in this competition, and he was also named to the All-Star 5, alongside his teammate Rocco Zikarsky, who is also an ex-star in the Brisbane Bullets. He also represented Australia in the FIBA Under-17 Oceania Championships, which Australia usually dominate in. He had 20 points and 10 rebounds with a double-double, in the final against New Zealand, where they won by 47 points. He was also named to the All-Star 5 in this competition as well. Roman Siulepa was also one of 3 teenagers in Australia to be invited to the NBA All-Star Weekend Basketball Without Borders camp, and he represented Australia. And in this tournament, with players all across the world, Roman was named MVP, as you could probably guess. Another huge thing Roman's doing at the moment is playing NBL 1s with the Southwest Metro Pirates. He's playing alongside guys like Brendan Tays, Lamar Patterson, Michael Cedar, and a lot of other names that are Kai Woodfall, who's big in the NBL 1 as well. He averages 19 points and 7 rebounds in a league full of NBL stars, and he comes off the bench too. So I'll bring up some of his games while I'm here. I don't know what I said before, but he averaged 18 points and 9 boards. I think I said 7. And as you can see here, his game logs, big games against Seahawks, he had 32 points, 14 rebounds. Against Ipswich, he had 37 points and 11 rebounds. They were back-to-back games. As you can see, 26 and 15, 20 and 12. So these are really big games for someone that comes off the bench and plays alongside guys that are NBL vets and plays against NBL vets. This is very impressive stats. So in June, Roman Siulepa decided to announce that he was signing with the Tasmanian JackJumpers as an NBL Next Star. The NBL Next Stars program is a huge opportunity for any young player like Roman Siulepa. As we've seen in the past few years, we've got Trenton Flowers, who just got picked up in the NBA draft. He went undrafted, got picked up after having a pretty rocky season. AJ Johnson didn't average many points and was almost unplayable in the first half of the season. He was picked in the first round at 23. Alexandre Sarr, 2nd overall pick. He came off the bench for Perth last year, averaging just under 10 points. So Bobby Klinkman was the 34 pick. So this opportunity in this league is not regarded as a cupcake league, as the famous Homicide used to say. So this is a huge opportunity for a guy like Roman Siulepa. The Tasmanian JackJumpers are also in a loss right now as they lose Jack McVeigh, who had an awesome Boomers campaign. He signed a 2-way deal with the Houston Rockets. This leaving room for Roman Siulepa, who kind of plays the same position as Jack McVeigh, to get more minutes. As I'm recording this video in late August, 1 or 2 weeks ago, it was announced that Roman Siulepa has parted ways with the reigning champs, Tasmanian JackJumpers, before. I know training camp started, but it was kind of during training camp to the upcoming season. So the JackJumpers chairman came out with a quote and said, we asked him to commit to a club and say if he went back to Brisbane, he wouldn't continue to play rugby because we didn't think it was going to be beneficial for his body. He chose to go back and continue to play rugby. So there's always been this thing around Roman Siulepa that he was choosing between rugby, which he's really good at, obviously, with being 6'6", 6'7", being that mobile and having that passion in anything he does. You know, you can see it on the basketball court. I'm sure you can see it on the rugby field where there's more contact. And I've seen another video, I'll try and bring it up now, that he's ranked top 20 in Australia for rugby. So right here, I don't know how reliable this source is, but the NG top 50 rankings of the best junior rugby players that are still in school, he had this to say.
And at number 18, he's not a New Zealander, but he's an Australian rugby player. He's actually one of the best basketball players in Australia, one of the best young basketball players. He plays NBL 1. He's really talented. I think he's like 6'7", 6'8". He's ranked 18th on this list and as a number 8. So yeah, Roman's really talented, and I think if he really wanted to, he could go either way if he wanted to play basketball professionally or rugby, because I saw him play a bit of sevens last year. He was really good, but yeah, I didn't think it was this good. But yeah, Roman at 18.
So I don't know if you guys could hear that. I'll play back when I'm editing, but basically he said Roman's the 18th ranked prospect in rugby in school. Now, like I said before, I don't know how reliable this list is, but he pretty much said that Roman was a weapon in the sevens, and he posts his clips on TikTok, and there's highlights of Roman playing rugby. You can obviously tell that he's going to dominate school level rugby. So he is right here, ranked top 20 in school rugby. So it's not like he is mediocre at that sport. So back to the JackJumpers. The problem they had was they started pre-training camp. There's obviously pictures of Roman in the Jackies uniform at the training facility in Tasmania playing with them, and they've told him and advised him not to go back and finish the season with Brisbane State High. He went back and did finish the season, as they've stated here. Now, the chairman continued with saying, "We're not going to force anyone to be at our club. A lot of other people are knocking down doors wanting to be here, as you can probably expect. We're not going to compromise our program ever for any one individual. We haven't got time to wait around, and that's not a go at Roman, that's at anyone." Now, to kind of break this down, I've seen a lot of mixed opinions. I've read a lot of Instagram comments under our post and under the NBL's post, and everywhere this has been posted, and I'm kind of getting the opinions from both sides. Now, one of the sides is the people that are supporting Roman, saying that you are allowed to be a dual sports player. If he wants to finish the season at State High, which will later on be mentioned that he only got a few games left, then go do that. If he wants to pursue rugby, everyone should be supporting his decision. And the Tasmanian JackJumpers, and not only did they say they're not having a go at Roman in this, which a lot of people say obviously they are, that they were pretty full on and not supportive of Roman. Then there's also people that kind of stand on what this guy's saying and saying that a lot of people are knocking on doors. If you're going to go behind our backs and go play rugby and leave our situation, then they're not going to tolerate anything like that, and they're going to take someone else that's passionate and ready to play. Now, whether that says Roman's not passionate to play, I don't think that's the case. But I guess I can hear an argument as to them standing on, what they believe in and kind of, not tolerating anything like this. Now, the big turning point in this argument that I see is that they were concerned that Roman would be injured, and it has come out that Roman will miss the start of the NBL season with shoulder and back problems. So presuming and just calculating that probably came from a rugby game, which kind of, Now, Mr. Siulepa, Roman's dad, came out with another statement saying, "From our standpoint, Roman looks after his body well. He's been playing rugby without any injury concerns, and he does all the right things with rest and recovery. He didn't want to miss the opportunity to play rugby with his mates, and it is very important to him to play rugby with his friends." Mr. Siulepa also added that Roman has just 3 more games left of rugby before he will turn his attention to basketball and finding a new home as a next star on another NBL team. Now let's take a look what teams are remaining to sign Roman and who doesn't have a next star at the moment. So it's Melbourne United. Obviously, they had Ariel Hukporti, who faced a massive Achilles injury, and he still got drafted into the NBA with the 60th overall pick in the New York Knicks. It might have been 58th because 2 picks were suspended. I don't think he'd play much. Dean Vickerman, they obviously got a really stacked team. They're obviously going for the championship this year. Every team's going for the championship, but these guys are real contenders. I'm not sure if he would play, but knowing they used Hukporti, they might need Roman Siulepa off the bench. It wouldn't be the worst option in my opinion. There's the Adelaide 36ers, who obviously have had guys like Mojave King, who was young. They had Josh Giddey, who was a next star, who made the NBA. He was drafted 6th overall. I don't like the Adelaide 36ers bench depth. I definitely think he would play minutes, and he could be a crucial part in them trying to win a championship. The Illawarra Hawks and Cairns Taipans are in similar situations. Cairns are obviously a younger team. He'd play a lot more on the Cairns. He'd probably play the most on Cairns out of any of these teams. And the Illawarra Hawks, obviously not much bench depth like the 36ers. I think he'd play a lot on the Illawarra Hawks as well. My pick personally would be Adelaide. They've got imports Kendrick Davis and Jarrell Martin. They're paired alongside locals Isaac Humphries, DJ Vasiljevic, and role players like Nick Marshall, Kadee, Alex Starling. Good team, Adelaide, but I don't like the bench depth too much. I think Roman would play a huge role in this team, and I think they'd push for a really high spot. I do like their starters enough to get them in the 6. I would like to add a little bit more bench depth, and if they're going to sign a next star, Roman Siulepa at 6'7", a wing that can shoot, can drive, can defend, probably has the most passion out of any junior I've seen in a very long time. I think that's the right move for Adelaide, and that's what I'd be doing if I'm Liam Santamaria. That kind of wraps up the whole Roman Siulepa situation. Let me know what you guys think about it. Obviously, there's a lot more people talking, and there's a lot more controversy around the subject, but that's kind of what I've seen and what I've heard, and that's what's in the articles. Hopefully, we see Roman sign with another team during or after the NBL Blitz, and hopefully we don't see him go to rugby, because that would be a shame. That's kind of wrapping up. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. If you guys are listening on a podcast streaming platform, make sure you guys follow us, and if you guys are listening on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe. Always helps with the support. We appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next one.